All right, picture this. It's the late 1950s, and the world is buzzing with tension. The USA and the Soviet Union are locked in a Cold War. But this isn't just about politics or military power anymore. Nope, this is about something much bigger. Space. The question on everyone's mind? Who's going to conquer the final frontier first? But here's the thing. This isn't just a story about two superpowers. The UK and Canada, two countries you might not immediately think of when it comes to space exploration, played some pretty surprising roles in shaping the future of space travel. Curious? Let's dive into one of the most exciting and inspiring stories in human history, the space race. And hey, before we blast off, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for Invest Edge Academy. We're all about bringing you fascinating stories that inspire, educate, and maybe even make you think a little differently about the world. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's rewind to 1957. The Soviet Union drops a bombshell, not literally but figuratively, by launching Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite, into orbit. It's just a small metal sphere, about the size of a beach ball, but it sends shockwaves around the world. Why? Because it's proof that the Soviets are ahead in the race for space. Now, imagine you're in the USA at this time. People are panicking. If the Soviets can launch a satellite, what else can they do? This moment, this tiny satellite kicks off the space race, a high-stakes competition to prove who's the real leader in science, technology, and innovation. The USA doesn't waste any time. In 1958, they launched NASA, and the race is officially on. But let's be real. The early days were rough. The Soviets kept winning. They sent the first man, Yuri Gagarin, into space in 1961, and the Americans were left playing catch-up. That's when President John F. Kennedy steps in and says, "You know what? We're not just going to catch up. We're going to do something no one's ever done before. We're going to land a man on the moon." Now, let's pause for a second. Think about how crazy that must have sounded at the time. The technology didn't even exist yet. But that's the thing about the space race. It wasn't just about competition. It was about dreaming big, pushing boundaries, and proving that the impossible was possible. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. While the USA and the Soviet Union were the main players, other countries were quietly making their own contributions. Let's talk about Canada for a second. Did you know that Canada was the third country in the world to launch a satellite? In 1962, they launched Alouette 1, a satellite designed to study the ionosphere. This was a huge deal for a country with a much smaller budget than the USA or the Soviet Union. And Canada didn't stop there. Fast forward to the 1980s, and Canadian engineers developed the Canadarm. If you've never heard of it, the Canadarm is a robotic arm that became essential for space missions. It was used on the Space Shuttle and later on the International Space Station. It's a perfect example of how even smaller nations can make a massive impact in space exploration. Now let's shift gears and talk about the UK. While the UK didn't pour billions into a space program like the USA, they made some pretty impressive strides in satellite technology. In 1962, the UK launched Ariel 1, the first satellite built by a country other than the USA or the Soviet Union. This was a big moment for the UK, and it showed that they were serious about space science. And here's a fun fact. The UK's advancements in satellite technology laid the groundwork for modern communications. Think about it. Every time you use GPS, check the weather, or stream a video, you're benefiting from the innovations that started during this era. But let's get back to the USA, because their story is nothing short of extraordinary. After years of setbacks and challenges, the Apollo program finally achieved its goal. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to set foot on the moon. Armstrong's words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," still give me chills. It wasn't just an American victory. It was a moment that united the world. People from every corner of the globe looked up at the moon and thought, if we can do this, what else is possible? It was a triumph of human ingenuity, determination, and collaboration. And speaking of collaboration, let's not forget the lessons we learned from the space race. While it started as a competition, it eventually led to partnerships like the International Space Station, where countries like the USA, Canada, and the UK work together to push the boundaries of exploration. By the way, if you're enjoying this journey through history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. It helps us bring you more stories like this. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next on Invest Edge Academy. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the impact of the space race. It wasn't just about planting flags or winning a Cold War. It was about proving that humanity could achieve the impossible. The technologies developed during this era didn't just stay in space. They transformed life on Earth. Satellite communications, GPS, weather forecasting, and even medical advancements all have their roots in the space race. And let's not forget the inspiration it provided. The space race showed us that when we dream big and work together, we can accomplish incredible things. It inspired a generation of scientists, engineers, and dreamers to reach for the stars. But the story doesn't end there. Today, we're entering a new era of space exploration. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, while countries like the USA, Canada, and the UK continue to play vital roles in space science. The next giant leap for humanity? It could be a mission to Mars, a return to the Moon, or even the discovery of life beyond our planet. So what's the takeaway here? The space race wasn't just a competition, it was a catalyst for innovation, collaboration, and inspiration. The USA's moon landing showed us that no goal is too far, no challenge too great. Canada's contributions remind us that even smaller nations can play a vital role in global progress. And the UK's advancements in satellite technology prove that innovation doesn't always have to be flashy to change the world. Today, as we look toward the future of space exploration, the spirit of the space race lives on. It's no longer about competition, it's about collaboration. And that's the most exciting part. The next chapter of space exploration? It's going to take all of us working together. If this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to InvestEdge Academy for more deep dives into history, science, and innovation. Hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and let's keep exploring the incredible stories that shape our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.